just briefly start here. We've had very strong growth in our statutory and underlying EBITDA, strong revenue growth, which is underpinned by a solid growth in customers, which I'll elaborate on. We've continued to deliver consistent gross margin, and I think one of the highlights as well is that we've been able to maintain our operating expenditures flat. And based on our DIY platform, every customer we bring on gives us operating cost scalability, scale efficiencies, with 90% of the incremental gross profit falling to the bottom line. So you can see here that our underlying EBITDA is up 38% to 17.3 million. Strong growth in net revenue at 17% at 136.3 million. Gross profit 40.5 million. And our operating expenses at 23.2 million. We announced just before Christmas that we had achieved over 1 million customers, so we're now sitting at a closing subscriber base of 1.025 million customers, and we're the fourth largest mobile service provider in Australia, next to Telstra, Optus and Vodafone. We also announced an interim dividend per share unfranked of 4 cents, which is also up 33%. I probably just go into the breakdown just to remind you about our model and how it's sort of transpiring in terms of the KPIs within it. Obviously, we're the growth brand in the telco sector and the mobile sector. As we announced that we're now over 1 million customers, we delivered just over approximately 60,000 net new customers in the last 6 months. And previous to that, we were delivering 60,000 net new subscribers. It's been a very competitive sector and a competitive market, but in fact, we've actually driven it. We're probably in part responsible for the competition and a lot of the disruption that's going on in the marketplace there. You'll have seen some of the reports from Telstra and the like, who have been probably talking about the challenges of their ARPU decline, which is average revenue per user. And in part, as we said, we've been driving that as well. You can see through this slide here, for us to grow, we manipulate the ARPU, which is really underpinned by the price position. That allows us to always maintain a good, healthy price leadership position to actually continue to grow. And that's been transparent in our subscriber growth at 34%. Talked about improved operational efficiency and keeping our costs flat. And because we're a DIY brand, what it means is customers, they download the app and they look after themselves. They put the credit card online, and that means we have a very low cost operating model. So as we're adding 60,000 new net subscribers every 6 months, as I mentioned, 90% of that's falling to the bottom line, and we're not really driving any much incremental cost to our business as a result. Lower churn, you can see here, we've actually been delivering a best-in-class 2% churn, remembering that we are a no-contract business. So we sell SIM-only, no-contract plans, and yet we have one of the highest lifetime cycles in the industry. We have less than 1 complaint per 10,000 customers by the TIO, compared to our competition that has around 6 to 7 complaints per 10,000. So, and we have a referral customer recommendation rate actually has been upgraded since this report. Our most recent report has 94% of our customers refer new customers. So when you have a 94% referral rate, what that does is it keeps your cost per acquisition down, because you're not buying acquisition into the media, and you get a very fast payback. We have a less than 3-month payback on all customers that we acquire, which means that we quickly move to profit on those customers. And as a result, as we're growing our customers and revenues, keeping our operating expenditure flat, we can see that we continue to grow our EBITDA up 38% and continue to pay dividends to our shareholders. In terms of continuing to grow, the structural growth of mobile is still very strong. When we launched SIM-only BYO plans, it was only 20% of the Australian market 6 years ago. Now it's over 50% of the Australian market. And 65% of people switching today are actually switching from a 24-month contract to a no-contract plan. So the glide path moving up to two-thirds of the Australian market actually being no contract is well on its way, and that's our leading position. So some of the things we will continue to do to leverage that, obviously, we are launching. We've actually launched our handset shop, and when I mean a handset shop, that's an online handset shop. We launched it on our Via brand. Via is our price-fighting, street-fighting brand that we have, and we've launched it on that brand first as a test bed to make sure that we manage the logistics of the handset shop right, and we'll be launching that handset store on the Amaysim brand and the Amaysim funnel before the end of this financial year, which will have a much significant uptake. We're launching a set of mobile broadband plans ranging from $50 to $100, and you'll see plans upwards of 50 to 80 gigs of data for less than $100. The millennial generation, they don't need unlimited voice and text. They talk on Snapchat. They do FaceTime. So all their communication is done through data. So you'll now start to see us launching some plans ranging from $50 to $100, but that comes with some significant data sizes of around, as I mentioned, up to 50 to 80 gigabytes. We're launching in the broadband, as I mentioned. And in less than 60 days, we'll be in the NBN market. We've got over 600,000 households that we have direct engagement with based on our million customers that we have. And we will be going, obviously, our aim is not to go out into the external market and sell NBN. We'll be purely selling it through our base. And that means we can keep our cost per acquisition low. We can get to profit quickly on the NBN product. And at the end of the day, when you've got 600,000 homes to target, that's the best opportunity to cross-sell into. I then touch on guidance. As we've been giving to the market, with only one quarter to go, we're basically saying that net revenue should come in at a range of 279 to 284 million, up 10%. Gross profit of 89 to 93 million. And that means that our gross profit margin will range from 32% to 33%. And total underlying operating expenses at 47 to 49 million. So continuing to keep it flat and continuing to drive efficiency. And then obviously an underlying EBITDA of 42 to 44 million dollars. So, and as we mentioned, churn to remain flat and continue to grow subscribers again, upwards of 1.07 million to 1.075 million. As we mentioned, we're going to target, our strategy is to increase the share of the household wallet. We are now in mobile. We'll be launching an NBN. We're launching the device handset store. And the online platform that we have built will allow you to have this single view of the customer, single sign-on capability. One of the things that we will be announcing in 6 weeks is for our customers, they will be able to order an NBN product in 2 clicks. So you will see if you'll check if your address is available. You'll press a button, up populates all your information, your credit card details, everything. We know in the back end system what type of NBN product you need based on the address of the house, and then you click your product plan and it's ready to order. So for those of you who have ordered ADSL products in the past or ordered NBN, you'll know the pains you're going to go through. What we provide is this very slick DIY automated solution. We look forward to bringing that into the marketplace. And as we mentioned, NBN is a great opportunity with over 8 million households force migrated in the next 3 years, and we'll target our 600,000. So looking forward to solid growth and a good finish to FY17.